Now, Rock Talk with Mitch Lafon.
We are speaking with Eric the trainer and his son, of course. Eric is on the road pretty much exclusively with Def Leppard, keeping those boys in shape. And if you look at Phil Collen, you got to say, yeah, he's doing a good job. So, Eric, a pleasure to have you. Always a pleasure. We, of course, met many times on these shows, but we're here to talk about, well, we'll talk a bit about training. We'll talk about this song that you've put together, Maine Monster, the band. And it's insane. You've got guys from Air Supply, Nickelback, Lifehouse, and others in there. So, as we say in Montreal, bonjour. How are you?
I'm great, man. It's great to see you again, Mitch. And we are so excited about the new music. You know, it's kind of funny because here in Los Angeles, we went on lockdown. And when we went on lockdown, there was a stay-at-home order that was pretty strict. So I had a lot of extra time. And one day I worked out with my online training clients, jumped in the shower, and I was literally in my underwear, Mitch. This song was written in my underwear. And on my couch, I wrote a song called I'm Yours. And basically it was about my girl and how despite any of the success that I have here in LA, in Hollywood, she could care less. She just loves me for who I am, which, by the way, is a very good thing. And so I wrote a song called I'm Yours. And then when the stay-at-home order was lifted, I decided to go into the studio and record it. I began the recording process, but then a bunch of my celebrity clients who are great musicians heard about it. And Mike from Nickelback said, I'm playing bass. And Aviv from Air Supply said, I'm playing drums. And Joerg from Lifehouse said, I'm playing guitar. The next thing you know, we have a bunch of great musicians playing on the track. The band's name is Maine Monster, which is my nickname because I grew up on a farm in Maine. And I'm Yours is the first single. Now, we were so excited about this single, Mitch, that we decided that we were going to give 100% of the proceeds to charity. There's a charity called Feeding America, and these are the guys that go into food banks when the food banks run out of food, because it's been a tough time here in the States, and they actually restock those food banks. And so we're giving 100% of the proceeds to Feeding America, and we're so excited. We hope you like the song, man. What do you think? Do you like it?
I actually think it's a great song. I think it's got a great hook, and it's got great melodies. And of course, some of those melodies are provided by your son, right?
Yes, my son Henry, who's right here. Ow, 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 ow. All right. He's my pride and joy. He and I, when we sing, we actually sound very similar. It's one of the things that connect us emotionally. Right. Father, son, we like to do music together. And so when I was singing the song I'm Yours, Henry actually sang the background vocals, and they came out stellar. I'm so proud. I think the background vocals make the song, Henry. What do you think?
Yeah, I think, well, the thing is that when he writes a song, he'll sing the lead melody, and then I'll basically kind of surround it with how I think the backgrounds and harmonies should be. So then we'll kind of collaborate that way, and it's kind of like a father-son experience for the both of us, which is fun.
And he's a good-looking guy.
It's a great experience. It's like Wolfgang and Eddie, you know. Hey.
Yeah. I know, man. It's super cool. We're so proud of the project. It means a lot to us. And I'll tell you, you know, the fact that people like the song, that it's starting to get some airplay, it's like a dream come true. It's a dream come true to grow up on a farm in Maine and get a chance to come to Hollywood and play with some of your favorite musicians in the entire universe. And I'll give you an exclusive. Are you ready, Mitch?
I'm ready.
For an exclusive?
I love exclusives.
Our second single that comes out in about a month is called Girl Like You. And that features Arnel from Journey. The lead singer of Journey sings the chorus with me. It is a massive song. You will love it.
I love the fact that all these guys are your friends now. Do you work exclusively as Eric the Trainer with Def Leppard, or do you have your own studio? And how is that sort of going in the lockdown? Are they telling you can't come in and touch the gym equipment? Like, how is the whole working out thing working out right now?
You know, the working out world is kind of shut down here in the States. A lot of gyms are closed, unfortunately. And I'm not exclusive with just Def Leppard. We train so many musicians. You know, I work with guys from Nickelback, The Strokes, Fall Out Boy, Shawn Mendes, who's one of your Canadian heroes.
Yep.
You know, he does a great job up there. We work with a ton of musicians that your listeners would know. And let me tell you, it is such a pleasure to get a chance to work with musicians, these creative types that not only originate the art, but they go out and they spread it around the world. I'm hoping that the tour season begins again next summer and that we can all go out, go on tour, go to those big stadiums and sing some songs together. I love it.
Oh yeah, that'd be great. And so okay, so talk to me then about this band in terms of Maine Monster. Is that something that, let's say, if Def Leppard said, "Hey, we need an opener. You want to put a band together and come sing?" Are you in a position to do that? Is there a band where you'd be able to come and play 10 songs?
I think that if that ever happened, which would be the craziest thing that had ever occurred in my life, I think we would find a way to make it work. I mean, a lot of the musicians involved with Maine Monster are superstar celebrity musicians on their own. And I think by next year, they'll all be back on tour with their respective bands. But I can tell you, there are plenty of incredible musicians here in Los Angeles and around the States that I think would jump on the opportunity to go on tour with a big band and play as part of my band, Maine Monster. I think the answer would be a big yes, Mitch. Ow, ow, ow.
Yeah, you got to get that going. So talk to me about the charity connection. How did that come up? Is that just sort of charity that you've always supported and figured, oh wait, let me give some money to them? Or did they come to you and say, listen, this lockdown is killing donations, it's killing people coming out here. We need some help. We know that you're a helpful guy. How did the connection to the need to feed and Feeding America get started?
I was at home in Los Angeles watching the national news, and I saw those long lines at food banks. Some of those families were waiting 5 or 6 or 7 hours to get food. And by the way, the people in line for food, these families, they were embarrassed to be in line. They never thought they would be in the position where they needed to ask for help. And then when they finally got to the front of the line, like I said before, some of those food banks ran out of food. So imagine waiting 8 hours or 7 hours in line for food, embarrassed, and then you finally get to the front and there's no food left. I knew I had to do something about it. I saw that happen on the national news. I looked at Henry and I said, not on my watch. No way. We're going to try to do something about it. So we held a huge concert for Mother's Day called The Need to Feed. And it was headlined by Nickelback, but also Air Supply and Journey sang together. There were a lot of special moments. There were all kinds of amazing artists on that huge concert. On that day alone, we raised enough money for over 270,000 meals to be purchased for needy families. So we felt great about that. And, everyone said, oh man, that was the biggest thing. That was incredible. But I wanted to do more. And so when I put Maine Monster together as a band, when we started recording songs and we decided we were going to give some money to charity, I knew which charity it was going to be. It was my favorite charity, Feeding America. They do a great job. And when I told them that we were going to donate 100% of the proceeds to them, they were so thrilled and they thanked me so much.
That is great. Now, you do have this one song and you've got another one coming later. Is it 2 singles or are these 2 singles from an album? Are we looking at a 10-song album at some point, or just 1 single, 2 single, let's raise some money? How are we moving forward with the music coming out?
Well, Mitch, I know you're always digging for the inside scoop, and I'll give it to you. We are releasing them as singles right now, but it will lead to the release of a 12 to 13 track Maine Monster album. We have about 20 songs written, and we have about 6 of them already near completion. And so we're going to initially release these singles, but trust me, you're going to get a chance probably early next year to buy a full album by Maine Monster. It's going to be awesome.
That is great. So talk to me a little bit about this. You're born and raised, as you say, in Maine on a farm. Was music your first love, and have you tried bands before and then you got to this, or did you get into the training first and moved to New York and did all that? What's sort of the path you took to get to this point?
When I moved to New York City and became a trainer, one of my goals was to learn how to play guitar. And remember, I was 22 years old back then, and most guitar players start when they're very young and they have their whole life to sit in their bedroom and practice guitar. I didn't. So I was in the gym. I wanted to learn how to play guitar. And there was a guy in the gym with a cool haircut. I used to call him Bon Jovi. I called him Bon Jovi as a joke. He kind of looked like he could have been Bon Jovi's cousin. Anyway, one day, this Bon Jovi character said to me, by the way, my name is not Bon Jovi. My name is Brad Talinsky. I am the editor-in-chief of Guitar World magazine. And I would propose to you that I will teach you how to play guitar. and you train me and we'll have a great time. So right there in New York City, in Manhattan, we had an old-fashioned Maine style barter going on where I trained Brad Talinsky to make his physique look great. He taught me how to play guitar. And ever since then, I've noticed that when I play music at the end of a long day working as a personal trainer, it actually takes my mind away from fitness and allows me to relax. So the next day when I come back to work, I feel refreshed and excited. So I've been playing music and writing little songs to myself for years. And only recently, as I started training all these famous musicians, did I think to myself, it would be so fun to collaborate with these guys that I've literally lived with, I've been on tour with. It'd be so much fun to collaborate with them around some music and maybe do it for charity. And so it finally happened. I'm so thrilled.
Wow. And by the way, Brad is fantastic. I actually did an interview with him once. He's a fantastic guy. So I'm just trying to figure out what I need to trade with you to get my physique, because I've gotten old and flabby, so I need to figure out a trade. I need to barter with you. When we talk about going on the road and going on tour, and I saw you on that Def Leppard tour, how difficult is it to get a band to stay on a training routine and keep them engaged in the process? Because listen, when you're on a bus or some of these bands on private jets, like it or not, you get tired. The change of time, the change of weather, the change of venue, you're just like, I'm gonna go sit in the hotel, leave me alone. How do you sort of keep them motivated to get to the gym, and how do you do it?
Well, I'll tell you, you hit the nail on the head. It comes down to motivation, and motivation comes from within the trainer. So I would say the very best personal trainers that I've ever seen in the world are excellent motivators. Now, to be a great motivator, you have to know how to connect with your clients. You have to know what that person holds important and what doesn't hold important. And when it comes to being on the road with a big, amazing band, you really need to focus on three things: the right exercise on a regular basis, the right diet, which is huge because on the road it can be very challenging, and lastly, making sure these guys get enough sleep, because without sleep, they're not renewed and they're not ready for the next performance. I've been lucky enough to tour with some very cool bands, and I always align their exercise, diet, and sleep right off the bat and keep them on schedule. Plus, I know a lot of jokes, so the motivation's there because they might show up in the morning a little tired, but after a few jokes, they're smiling, we're having fun, and by the time that they're ready for breakfast, they're already sweaty, they had a great workout, because the magic occurs at night when the lights go down and suddenly the guys come on stage, the audience looks up and they see these incredible guys. It seemed like they haven't aged since the 80s. That's from a great diet, fantastic exercise, and plenty of sleep too.
All right, so let me ask you this then. In terms of diet, because I'm interested in this, because I'm always struggling with keeping things in order. What is the sort of the I guess the secret key to a good diet? Is it stay to fruit, keep away from gluten, because I sort of think everything is okay to eat in balance. It's okay to have a slice of pizza once every 2 weeks or something, just not every day. Is there a special key, things we should avoid? What do you tell them?
I tell them this: I want them to eat animal-based proteins, lean animal-based proteins. Right. I want them to eat water-based carbohydrates, which are fresh fruit and vegetables. Mm-hmm. Now, the darker the color of fresh fruits and vegetables, the healthier they are. And then lastly, I want them to stay very well hydrated. So drinking lots of water, green tea, black coffee, it's so good. And never be afraid of healthy fats. Avocado is great. Olive oil is great. Raw nuts are fantastic. So if you're eating protein sources, water-based carbohydrates, meaning fresh fruits and vegetables that are dark in color, healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, and raw nuts, and drinking lots of water in moderation, you're going to be in great shape.
Oh, good.
Oh, I think your mic just turned off. I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
It did. I was just going to say, in terms of the song I'm Yours, where can folks find it? Because I see you have ericthetrainer.com, you've got ettworkout.com, you've also got morningglorylive.com. If I want to buy the song and I want to support you and I want to support Feed the charity, Feeding America, I should say, where do I find it? Because I have it in front of me. It was sent to me. But if I'm not me,
yes,
where do I get it?
You can find it. You can find it on all major streaming platforms, including Apple Music. That's a big one, and also on Spotify. It's been very popular on Spotify also. And I'll tell you, it's a song that was written in a very organic way, and a lot of enthusiastic, great musicians played on it. I hope your listeners enjoy it, and if they like it, wait for the second song, because "Girl Like You" is going to be a smash again. I can't wait.
I can't wait. Not with Arnel, you know it's gonna be great. He's absolutely one of my favorite people. He is so incredibly nice, and I mean talented. We know, but just so incredibly nice. Arnel, man, he's the real deal. What else should we tell them before we head off?
Well, I do want to give a message to your listeners, and that is, if you follow your dreams, anything can happen. I mean, I want them to know that I grew up on a farm in Maine. We had sheep, we had pigs, we even had a donkey. And I used to listen to cassette tapes of Def Leppard and Journey back in the day, you know, looking out at the snow, never expecting I would live in Hollywood with movie stars and palm trees and getting a chance to record music with my heroes. So keep the faith. Dreams come true. Trust me.
That's right. Keep the faith. We're circling back to the Bon Jovi connection with Keep the Faith. But on that, Eric and your son, just absolute pleasure. Always great. To be around you guys, because you're so energetic. I love just bubbling with energy. I love it. Just love it. And let me just quickly ask the son. Man. I'm going to ask the son one thing. Do you plan on being a rock star?
Well, actually, it's funny you say that. I have like a whole album that I haven't even put into the public eye yet, and I like produce all the music myself. I am self-taught with guitar, piano, bass, and drums. I write my own stuff, and I kind of based it off of like his style of music and what he does, but I kind of add a twist to it. So like I listen to like Zeppelin and like the Beatles and like all that older stuff, Nirvana, and so what I do is I take, because like he and I play guitar together, but I'm usually the one that's doing all the soloing and doing all the harder to play kind of lines.
The cool stuff. So, you're doing all the cool stuff, right?
Yeah, the cool stuff. not the crazy stuff, but stuff that's a little more advanced than what he has played. But and I love him. He's a great musician, no matter what. But the stuff that I play is like another version of him. That's just why we're so similar. It's just so great to have someone like him in my life, and we get along great, and everything's awesome, and he's super supportive. So that's all that matters to me.
And for your listeners that are interested, if you guys ever tune into our daily exercise show, which is called Morning Glory Live, which you can check out at morningglorylive.com, Henry wrote and performed the theme song that's played every single morning here at 10 o'clock in the morning LA time.
Wow.
And people that are on that call, there are hundreds of people from all over the world they love that song, and that was a Henry original.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go. So Henry and Eric, as we say in Montreal, merci beaucoup. Thank you so much. And folks, do check out I'm Yours by, of course, the Maine Monsters, featuring, let's go over it, Aviv Cohen from Air Supply, Michael Kroeger of Nickelback. Gotta love the Canadian connections. I can't pronounce the guy's name from Lifehouse, Joerg Kohring?
Oh, Joerg Kohring, yeah.
See, look at that. I'm a master. Thank you, sir. Thank you, boys. Thank you. Merci.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
You
Great
too.
To see you, man.
Absolutely. Let's keep in touch, and let's promo the second one as well when it comes out.